Christian persecution, as it began, ask yourself this question. As Christian started being persecuted, as where are you as a Christian? Have you started feeling any form of persecution? This is a question everyone should ask themselves. Which times are we in? Actually, we are in the very last age. This is the age that is likely to see the coming of the second coming of Jesus Christ. So we should be ready for the worst. We should be ready for the persecution. We should be ready to be despised. We should be ready to face through it all. You know, Jesus went through persecution. He was hanged on the cross because of us. So we cannot be an exception as Christians. We have to face tribulations. We have to face mystery. We have to be despised in the world for us to receive salvation and also for us to make heaven. You know, when we talk about the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 3, God is talking about a greater salvation. The greater salvation was first confessed by God Himself, and it was brought to us from those people who heard Him speak. So that's why we are told that the Bible is an inspiration of the word of God through the people of God who heard God speak and proclaim His word upon humanity. So we have to be ready to face it all. At a gun point, if somebody comes today and tells you, denounce you as Jesus or we kill you, what will be your answer? Are you ready to die for His salvation? You know, salvation is a very costly thing that any Christian has had to pay the price to acquire. So let God give us the grace for us to safeguard our Christianity, to be able to be in a position to say, yes, we shall safeguard it at all costs. Whatever I've had to go through for me to retain my salvation, I'm going to do it. And we cannot do it with this human flesh because sometimes it is limited. Sometimes you feel that you are so suppressed. Sometimes you feel like you cannot be able to continue. Sometimes you feel like the tricks of the enemy are overwhelming. But ask God to give you the grace. Ask God to give you the patience so that you may endure the persecution. Because in the next tunnel, you are going to receive salvation. That is where God is waiting to crown you for the pain and the suffering that you may have gone through. We see also Stephen losing it. In the book of Acts chapter 7 verses 59, we see Stephen being stoned to death. Let us read it and see. Then they cast him out of the city and they stoned him. And the witness laid down their garments at the feet of the young man. And as they were stoning Stephen, out of with a loud voice, Stephen said, Lord, do not hold this sin against them because they do not know what they are doing. And he actually fell asleep. He died in the process. Who can be this Christian I'm talking about here? Who can be this martyr? Who can be this Stephen who can say, I'm ready, I'm ready. Even the ones who are stoning me, I am forgiven them. Even the ones who are killing me, God, give me the grace that I may forgive them. I do not have to hold any grudges. Who can be this Christian I'm talking about here? Can you be this Christian? Ask yourself this question. Suppose someone comes today and they want your head on the table. Can you be able to give that head on the table for you to safeguard your Christianity, for you to evade being persecuted? What can you do? Ask yourself. Suppose you're in this situation where Stephen was. Suppose you're in this predicament today. What can you do? Suppose the persecution comes today. What can you do? Because we are not far away from this. Very soon we shall see it beginning to manifest every corner. Very soon we shall have chips all over and Antichrist also. So let us be wise as Christians and let us be ready. Actually, even if it's to lose this body, let us be ready to lose this body, but we make it heaven. Because this body, even if you safeguard it, at some point you still will lose it. So let us stand and fight for our salvation. And also in the next chapter Acts chapter 8, verse 3, but Saul was ravaging the church and entering house to house. He dragged off men and women and committed them to prison. We see Saul was living in Damascus and he was going door to door, bringing out young men and taking them to Jerusalem as slaves. Because anybody was proclaiming Christianity, Saul did not want it. So he was persecuting Christians, and he made it upon himself to go door to door. And anybody was proclaiming Christianity, proclaiming salvation, they were to enslave these people and take them to Jerusalem as slaves. How many are ready to say, God, I'm ready, even if I'm going to be taken to Jerusalem as a slave, even if I'm going to be tied, even if I'm going to be dragged like what Saul was doing? Who is ready? Who is ready? We see later, after Saul was transformed and he became Paul, we see him saying, I cannot even say that I'm a disciple because I'm the one who was persecuting these Christians, and he was so remorseful. That is still in the Acts. So let God give us the grace. Let God give us the ability for us to stand and be able to safeguard this greater salvation that we have received. Think about your life right now. What is it that you have had to pay the price for? How far and how long have you been in salvation? What is it that you have had to forego? Some of the deals, some of the pleasures of life that you have had to undergo, some of the things that you have not done just because of safeguarding Christianity. How many are ready to do it until the end? How many are ready to say, come rain, come sun, I cannot afford to leave my Christ aside. I must live my life intertwined in the word of God. How many are ready to pay this very price that God is asking for today? We see Saul dragging them. We see Saul enslaving and imprisoning them. We see Saul doing all sorts of sins and discrimination. We see Stephen losing his life. We see all things. These are some of the things that these men of God had to go through. And also when we are reading them at this particular time, it is to strengthen us. And also we know that there are people who fought the fight and they were successful. So we cannot be an exception. If we make it upon ourselves, God will give us the strength and ability to overcome. If Stephen made it, I can still do it. If Saul was transformed, why not me? I can still be transformed and live for my God. So there is no limitation, yes, you can imagine. Even if right now you are persecuting Christians, even if right now you don't even understand what Christianity is all about, even if right now you are the soul we are talking about, even if right now you are at the verge of losing it and you don't know how to do it, say, God, I'm here. I'm surrendering my life totally. In my totality, I am tearing my heart apart just because of you. Come through, God. The persecution is too much. The waters have reached this height. I cannot contain it anymore. Like David was saying in Psalm 69, saying, the water have reached this height. I cannot take it anymore. This persecution is too much. It is just out of this world. God, give me the strength. Empower me to stand, to overcome the temptation and any challenge that the world will throw so that I can be able to be a winner. We are talking about the people who will stand the tribulation, the people who will stand the tremor, the people who will stand the earthquake, the people who will stand being stoned, the people who will stand being persecuted and dragged out, the people who will stand the test of time. They are going to receive the crown. What kind of a Christian are you right now? Where are you? Suppose the persecution begin right now and there is a hand and also a sword on you. What choice will you make? Are you ready to make a choice to live for Jesus until the end? Are you ready to say, okay, I'm ready now. Let me make heaven. I don't have to be attached to the worldly things. What kind of a Christian are you? God is calling you today. Make a choice. Make it a deliberate one that you have to follow God. Come rain, come sun. You have to really have to make a choice on where you are standing. We are not going to have a two-way. There is no lukewarm anymore. If you have been in a position of lukewarm, stand out and say either you are cold or hot. We have to define where we are. There is no way, two-way about it. We have to be in either you are hot or cold. So we cannot do it with our own strength, of course. We cannot do it with our own energy. There is no way we are going to do it with our capacity and capability. As human, we are limited. Let us make it deliberate from our hearts that God, Jesus, I'm ready to hear from you. Safeguard my life. Remove every persecution that I've had to go through. Make me whole again to stand the test of time. When the persecution comes, that I may be ready to overcome. When temptation comes my way, I shall have a testimony. I will live to testify of the greatness of God upon my life. I shall live to attest the greatness of my God. And also, as Christians, this is the best decision that you can ever make. For those ones who have not received Christ, make a point upon your life right now. Just look around what you are doing right now. Check around what your life you have been doing. Have you been committing masturbation? Have you been watching porno? What have you been doing that is away from the presence of God at this particular time when God is calling and passing across this word of persecution to the church, and also people are being misled all over? Let God talk to you personally, and also you make a turnaround and you make that one decision to follow Christ. I know it's the hard